Mission really truly is the secret layer of twin flame work. It is a secret because not many people talk about it, not many know it, or seem to know it at least. But it's really true. And logic too, that when you start to become the exuder of twin flame love, divine love, union love from the heart out, and from the heart of your union out between you and your true twin flame, you start to attract them. When you start to become active as someone that desires to share this actively with certain structures and events and programs and services, spontaneous or organized, your twin flame will want to be with you. If you touch that true frequency of your union, if you do it from your real connection with that divine love that makes up your union, you just call them in. That is a law. It's a spiritual law of twin flames. It is normal. It is logic. There's nothing more logic than this. If you step forward into that love and start even spreading it after you first, don't forget this, let yourself be part of that love. Step into it, heal inside of it, wear it like a piece of a garment, a piece of clothes. Let that love spread over your body, over your daily life, over your schedule, over your goals. Let it touch you. And then from there on out, when your heart is full and your daily life is transformed by it, you start to spread it. You step forward, you step into it, you step forward. You start to say, okay, Divine Mother, I know you give me my union. I know this divine love comes from you. I am willing to step forward because you say so, because you back me up. I am willing to step forward and stand there on the internet, on YouTube, on social media, in your friends group, in stranger groups. I don't know where that is, but somewhere. And I'm willing to be, well, whatever, like the odd one out that believes and whose heart is full and that shares, full of unconditional divine love, that shares thoughts about twin flames, what they are, how you should do things to get closer to that reality, that are in line with that truth and that true vibration. I'm willing to do that. Well, don't you think that attracts your very twin flame? God sees all. Divine Mother knows that you're doing that. She's backing you up. She's sending even more of that union love to you. Logic, you need it to stand there, to be there, to have presence, to have value, to spread it, to exude it from your heart, to let it flow into conversations that you have with other people, into videos that you're making. She needs to send you more of it. Yeah, and it attracts your twin flame too. Kind of logic, so logic, dang. Secret of twin flame union. Step into your mission, and they will, in a haste, in a hurry, come stand next to you. Because that fulfills that entire image. That just makes it complete. That just makes it have all its complementary parts be there. But just logic that attracts that all these complementary parts, right? When you say, I step forward because I stand for that, I stand for nothing but the whole, the divine whole, how we're created, how everyone is created, how my blueprint is on that deeper spirit level, that's what I stand for. That's how I step forward. Sheer logic that all these complementary parts come stand around you, next to you, and I don't know, whatever complementary parts you have in spirit. Well, for the very, 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 very most, that is just only your twin flame and you, right? So don't worry. It is logic. They will come stand next to you. They will feel attracted to do that. But it will feel naked for you. It might feel scary. Maybe you're so afraid to do something like that. It's just like unbelievable. Like, never, like you want to hide, you want to run away, you don't want to do it. It feels so scary. I'm not going to show myself. It's much too vulnerable. Maybe you learned to hide when you were a child. Maybe you learned to close your heart as a child because it was not safe to open it and to show what you want to share, because it was just slapped down within seconds or minutes by malicious parents or I don't know what or whom. And you learn to close your heart, to not do it, to not stand for yourself. Maybe you haven't even learned to have agency, like the stepping forward is not going to happen for you because you have been programmed or like brainwashed also often by like our natural leaders as small children is often starts right as like our parents and carers and teachers and whatnot, our direct environment, maybe unwittingly, but still that's often where it does start. There's no mistaking about that. Psychology says so, and that's a science taught at universities worldwide. Maybe that was like the hidden message that you can't even step forward autonomously, that you have been programmed. Social programming happens for every child, and when it's particularly malicious, the kind of programming that you've undergone, well, you might start to say that it was brainwashing and it was because it was negative too. Like, you can teach a child to sabotage themselves. That is certainly within the possibilities of rearing a child. And it is disgusting, but it also happens a lot. It happened to me. I was not allowed to step forward. I was not allowed to question why there was only this very restricted area that I was allowed to grow into, that was not allowed to outgrow my mother. And if I did, she would need to latch onto me as a leech and suck me dry of the energy that was now meant for her life force somehow. Or she would need to push me down so that I fitted into that very restricted area again. That was the only area I was allowed to be autonomous in. Some people don't teach their children any life skills, not how to be social, not how to do daily life tasks. That's also very narcissistic, just like my mother was. And you feel completely handicapped as a grown up. Sometimes you feel completely into victimhood and into like I can't do anything, or of like normal daily life. I will take responsibility for a certain task and step forward and have just my leadership in a very normal daily life kind of sense. And you will meet all these things when you step forward with your mission. Not wanting to be seen, unable to make autonomous stepping forward actions, um, unable to be vulnerable to the degree of the depth of your heart, the heart of your heart that you share with your twin flame and twin flame union. Be led by spirit, be led by divine mother, while doing so that you not only step forward and say, "Hi, I'm here to present something about twin flames," but you actually do all of that and whatever you're going to say by opening yourself to the guidance of divine mother and just let it flow. And you know, when you start to do twin flame mission, you will experience all your blocks in all these areas. And the beauty of it is stepping into twin flame mission is something that just touches on all aspects of life that are also normal daily life aspects of anyone, because anyone will be seen on the street, in their home, in a relationship to their twin flame. Anyone will need to be vulnerable and open about what hurts them and what is going on inside of them when you want to have any relationship, even with your, I don't know, roommate or something, or with your twin flame. So these are also topics that touch anyone in any moment. It touches your entire life. But twin flame mission makes it specific, and twin flame mission makes it ultimate. Twin flame mission makes it an anchor to anchor your entire union inside. It makes it an invitation for the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union to come join you. What about that? Because that is the real thing that twin flames need. I've talked about this in all my videos. Almost all my videos are about the fact that you need harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state. And that is just the foundation of it. And that is what you need. That is everything you need. End of story. Many people still don't believe it, or they don't hear what I say. But that's really what that is. So, of course, we invite the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union as the space, as the bubble, as the frequency in which you step forward for twin flame mission supported by divine mother, in which, by the fact that you do that, your twin flame will stand next to you, because that's the natural completion of that whole picture. That is the space in which all of that takes place, for sure. But what about this scenario? You starting to step forward, sharing the divine love of twin flames, supported by divine mother as much as you can allow yourself to be supported there. While doing that, calling in A, your twin flame, B, the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union that will form as this beautiful, sacred balloon in and around you, and your twin flame. What about that? Just an idea. I think this is awesome. This is what's going to help you. You can become this twin flame union coach. That simply only starts with, I'm going to step forward and be vulnerable and honest about this deep desire that everyone on the earth actually feels and has. Although people have forgotten it, they pressed it down, they don't want to know it yet. But everyone feels it deep down. And the world is ready to hear more about this. But it just starts with you feeling that this is true for you and becoming aware and willing. That's it. That's it. I know we can also talk about how do you become a mission business owner, and how can you attract prospects that become clients, and how do you do online marketing and social media games and whatnot, and how can you make the journey of your clients be the best one ever, and how can you invent programs for them so that they feel supported on all sides, moving forward indefinitely, and how can you make a living out of that, which is actually not more than normal when you help people, that you ask for energy back so that you can also support yourself while you support other people. That's why we use money. I understand we could talk about all these aspects, about the mission business. And this is also what you're going to do later on. Later on. And I have a full 360 degrees business course inside the Twin Flame Abundance Now year group course that opens again on November 1st for you, for that aspect too. But for many people, that will be a little bit later on, that really opens up as the way to support yourself with structures. That's what business is. Many people think, oh, business, oh, that's scary. It just means that you support yourself with structures at a time when that is appropriate for you. Probably, possibly later on. But now, in the beginning, it is really only about the willingness. And do you feel that in your heart? Do you feel this possibility in your heart? Do you feel the potency of, yes, I could step forward? Even if it were only as if that is like a mentality change inside yourself. I open myself up for the possibility to be whispered in by spirit about what they want me to do, where they want me to potentially open up my heart, only as like a silent gesture that you open your heart up, not even talking per se. That could be a beautiful second gesture. Do you feel that? And do you feel that by doing that, you start to invite the very energy, the very connection that you want for yourself, the very frequency that is conducive for your harmonious twin flame union to come into being indefinitely? Do you feel that? Do you feel that longing in your heart, the desire to be filled up from the inside out by the frequency of divine union? And then be filled up by that to such a degree that when you are fully filled up, it just starts to leak out of your body, an energy body, and share itself. And sometimes I talk about don't leak your energy, right? Your energy does belong to you and your twin flame in your union, in sort of that egg. And now I say it as if mission is just going to leak out of you when you're full of being filled. Well, and there is a tension between these two ideas, and that is actually the very reason that you start to help yourself and the world with business structures, for instance, or structures in general, so that you can also choose that, this is a situation in which I can share in this kind of way. And that is a situation in which I don't share because I'm not going to leak my energy. So that's how you could deal with that. But the holistic movement is you will be filled up and then you start to sort of overflow, right? The cup becomes full and then overflows. Oh, yeah, there's also something interesting that someone, a student in my school, just made me realize this, that you can be so incredibly full of being filled of the mission energy, the twin flame mission fulfillment. But it might be that you don't yet have an enormous amount of energy or money or numbers in your bank account. Everything needs to start somewhere, and that is good enough. It is about the movement that you're setting in, and it is about truly doing that with the right intention and the right kind of alignment with the true thing. In my case, for instance, when that all came into being, and I was in 2020 in March in Harmonious Twin Flame Union, 3 months after I came in union with my true twin flame, and all questions were at once suddenly completely answered. And I loved that. And it was just, what a celebration. It was just, oh, and the peace that came over me, the peace, indescribable. Anyway, but I stepped into my mission too. But the first things that for me happened were I was going to work out. Well, God said this, right? I didn't know that I was going to do this, but God knew. So, he just whispered in my ear, and there we go. It was like this unmistakable direction, and there you go. And I was taking in that direction. It was just all happening. But in the eyes of the world, that can look different than what you might think. I was not like a millionaire all at once. Actually, what happened was that my living below zero financially, for instance, but you could hold the same reasoning for your health or your, I don't know what, or your twin flame love or relationship. But let's for now keep it at the money. I was like going from like tens of thousands below zero to approximately about around zero. And that was the first movement that we were doing. And then the student recently said to me, well, so you don't have anything yet. What can I learn from you? Well, so like tens of thousands to zero, that just means nothing to you. I spent 500,000 on my journey, and I gladly did that. So, and that means nothing to you. It's like nothing. So don't you think that I'm going in the right direction? Still living in my own bought home, having a beautiful daily life in which I completely healed my body, and I feel tremendously good in Harmonious Twin Flame Union, in contact with my true twin flame. Like, you must be kidding me that you think that there's nothing happening here. But maybe for you, maybe for you, it's I would completely be on your side when you say, well, but I'm standing up for mission right now, and I already have 300,000 in my bank account, but I want to grow towards 3 million. And what do I say? 30 million. That's where I'm going. And that would be also in the right direction, and that would be also completely possible. So, and I would completely support that for you. That's what I'm here for. I'm also here to make this all easier for you and much more reachable, and in a fraction of the time than I did it myself. You know, I took decades and lifetimes to figure this out, but now it's all figured out and it's free, and I'm just sharing, and I'm standing in my twin flame mission, and everything's clear and everything is shining out of me, and the helping of people has begun. Now I see that my students, in fact, take months for what took me years or decades. And this is literally what I found, that when someone came to me, and from that moment on, it took someone 4 months and 4 days to go to Harmonious Twin Flame Union. Well, that's really something else than 3 decades and €500,000. So I'm all for that. I'm all for you doing a much better job than I did. And in practice, we have seen that that works for my students. And I'm so happy for that. It is just a complete testament of the power of this work. And whatever is good for you will happen for you. But it all starts with the very same that I started to discuss in this video a little earlier. It all starts with you allowing yourself to make a stance in mission. Understanding that you call in your harmonious twin flame union consciousness state that everyone needs, and your true twin flame to stand next to you. And this being the secret pillar of twin flame work that nobody understands. But now you do, and you are invited to come work that out to completion with me in the Twin Flame Abundance Now year group course, special edition for Twin Flame coaches to be, that opens up on November the 1st, 2025. Follow me on social media and you will learn everything about it. I hope to see you soon inside of it. Much love from Petra.